Hello there. So tonight's video isn't exactly a live. I have had to travel with work again, and so I have pre-recorded a video for you in advance. I am going to be doing some crafting, but I'm also going to be showing off the new hot foil system which Stampin' Up has just released. There's also going to be a little bit different done in tonight's video because I have a new camera thing. So we're going to try point of view camera at some point when I'm using the tool. But for just now, I'm going to flick over to what we normally do and show you the card that I'm going to be demonstrating tonight. So let me flip round. So I'm using the Framed Violets stamp set and the coordinating dies. And the card that I'm going to be making tonight is this one here. So this is called a diagonal double Dutch fold card. And this DSP flap opens up at the top, and then the card part opens up inside like that. It folds over, and then that kind of tucks in underneath to hold it down. And it does stand up, which I know is important to some of you. So that's the way you can see it does open and stand up if somebody wants to put it on a mantelpiece or something like that. Okay, so the special thing about this card, well, there's a few things I love about it, but the first thing I want to point out is the sentiment. So can you see along there, happy birthday, with that lovely glittery gold foil. This is from a set of gold foil sentiments, and there's some more of them down here. And so this is what I'm going to show you, first of all, how these sentiments are made, and we're going to use the hot foil system. And what I thought I would do is I would show you straight from an unboxing experience. So I'm going to see how this works. Hopefully it's not too wobbly. I can just about see. So this, when you purchase the Stampin' Up hot foil system, this is what you get. You also get a plug point, which I have already plugged in. And I am just going to point this out. The plug point is sold, so this part is it's all sold together. This part arrives in one box, and then there is a separate cable which you need to connect. Now, this has been causing confusion for a lot of people, so I thought I would mention that. The other thing I want to mention, I don't know if you can see well on this camera, but this is one of these like fabric coated cables. It's like a thick cord rather than the plasticky type that you get down here. So it's a very, very nice cable. Seems a daft thing to get excited about. But anyway, let's open up the box and see what's inside. So first of all, there's a full set of instructions, which I will be honest, I am still using quite a lot. This is the hot foil system. So it's quite light. I understand, I mean, there are hot foil systems out there that have existed before, but this one is quite light, it's quite thin. It comes with a silicone pad to put your hot dies on. It comes with 2 shims, and then it comes with this silicone pad that the hot foil system rests on. So I'm going to put that there, and I'm going to plug it in because it needs a few minutes to heat up. Now the plug, I don't know if you can see this, it just magnetically clips in. So you don't need to worry about which way up it goes because it'll go in both directions, but it just magnetically clips in. Okay, so, and you'll see that that has started, so the white light has come on and the red light has started flashing. So that's telling me it's heating up. So while it's doing that, I'm going to show you what else is in the box. So you have this magnetic tool thing. This is for lifting up your dies once you have used them. And I will mention that the hot foil dies are different to normal dies, although people have been experimenting and you can use different kinds of dies with the machine. Stampin' Up say you need to use their products and use them in a certain way, but they're going to say that, of course, aren't they? So if your machine, you get to use it however you choose, but just be careful because too much experimenting, if something breaks, it might have voided the warranty. So this particular set that I'm going to show you is called the Sweetly Sentimental Hot Foil Dies. And so you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 sentiments that say happy birthday, cheers to you, sending hugs, Just a little hello. Here's to another year. Have a lovely day. I'm so lucky to have you. Here's to a lifetime of happiness. Thank you. Sending bunches of love, and my heart is with you. So all of these sentiments are on the one die. And then in the same pack comes the die to cut it out. So they're both included. They do have some of the dies which include stamps, and they are sold separately, but when you buy them all together, you get the same 10% bundle discount that Stampin' Up normally do. But these ones, and it says very clearly on the picture, if this is the case, you get the hot foil die and the die cutting die. If the pictures are there side by side, you get both in your pack. You don't have to buy them separately. Now I'm going to show you as well. So the hot foil dies, they are made of a different metal, and you will see that. I don't know how well you can see it on the camera, but the hot foil dies are slightly grayer. These ones are a bit shinier. These ones are more matte, whereas these ones are shiny. So they are different kinds of dies. I'm just going to put that down there. You also get a hot foil shim and a hot foil spacer. As I say, all important instructions, because once you've heated up your hot foil system, it's going to go through the cut and emboss machine. Now, people have been doing some research and experimenting. The hot foil system fits through the Stampin' Up cut and emboss machine. It doesn't fit through the old Big Shot, which is one that we used to have. So the hot foil system is manufactured for Stampin' Up by Spellbinders. They're the same company that manufactures the cut and emboss machine. It makes sense that they would make them so that they go together. They're not about to start, Spellbinders aren't about to start doing things that work with a competitor's system. Now, if you have different machines, the hot foil system might fit through those. I don't know. All I can tell you is the products that I have. So I have this, and they work together. That's what I can share, and that's what I can experience. But as I say, other experiences may exist, and other people have been trying that. So I'm going to refer to my instructions. So the platform is being plugged in. The lights all flash at the start, and the heating takes approximately 6 minutes. I don't know how long I've been talking for, but when it's ready, the white button will stay lit and the red light goes solid. So I need to wait till that red light goes solid. While we're waiting, let me show you a couple more of the hot foil dies that I've got. So we've got this one here, which is called Botanical Glow. And this is this kind of leafy sprig one. Now this is one of the dies that has stamps to go with it. I didn't buy the stamps. I just bought the leafy die because I thought it was quite pretty. I've got ideas for it that I will show you on another video. This one, the Swiss Dots hot foil dies. I don't know if you can see, it's like lots of little polka dots, but they're not perfectly straight lined. They're kind of, they look almost perfect straight lines. I'm trying to show that. But they are slightly oddly spaced out in places. I think it's quite cool. It's quite quirky. And those are just single dies as well. And you can tell because it says in the packaging that there's only one. So the Sweetly Sentimental, it tells you there that there's 2 in the pack. One of them being the one with the words, and one of them being the bit that you cut out. Okay. You see, my husband always says that I talk for a really, really long time, but I haven't even talked for 6 minutes yet. This is still heating up. So what can I show you while I'm doing that? So the instructions, they come, well, I've got the English instructions. Oh, one thing I will say is if you are buying it, when you pick an option, so in Europe, you can have the option with the UK plug or with an EU plug, so the 2-pronged plug that they have that works in France and Germany, etc. So if you're buying it in the UK, make sure you buy the version that has the UK plug. If you accidentally get the wrong version, then demo support or the demo you bought it from will be able to help you out. You can swap things over. It's just going to add an extra delay. We don't want delays when we're playing with our new shiny. Oh, right. One of the things you want to make sure that you've done before you have everything else ready is that you've got something ready to do your hot foiling on. So I'm just going to cut a piece of basic white cardstock. Now, the project that I'm going to do in a minute, I want a piece that's 10 centimeters wide. So I'm just going to cut that just now. And then I'm just going to cut this piece to kind of like a 14.5, so that I've got a piece of white cardstock ready to go. Oh, the other thing you're going to need, the foil. Let's get some foil. So I have bought all 3 shades of the foil that we currently have out. So there is a gold, a silver, and a pink. And they come in pack. Each pack has got 2 rolls in it. So if you buy the gold, you're going to get 2 rolls. If you buy the silver, you're going to get 2. If you buy the pink, you're going to get 2. I have been keeping mine in one of our stamp cases because they all fit, and that seems like a really handy thing to do. So I am going to measure my die. I want about 3 inches worth. And I'm going to feed this into, I mean, you can do this with scissors. There's no reason why you have to do it on a trimmer. But I have a trimmer out and I like straight lines. So I'm just going to do it this way. So let's do 3 inches of my foil. And then the remaining foil, I'm just going to put back into the stamp case. Is this working all right video-wise? I think so. Right, okay. This is bleeped, and I now have a solid red light and a flashing white light. I'm going to refer to my instructions. I'm going to be doing this for a wee while, I think, just following the instructions. So, when it is ready to use, the red light stays solid and the white button flashes. Place the die flat side down. So you can see there, I've got the writing is up the way, and then the flat side down is what goes on to the platform. And then you press the white timer button. And then you'll see the red light is still solid, but now the amber light, or the yellow light, is flashing. And this happens while the die heats up. And this takes approximately a minute to a minute and a half. Once your platform has heated up, if you're using it a lot backwards and forwards, you don't have to wait the 6 minutes every single time. Once it's hot, it stays hot. You also need to be quite careful. So it says there, caution, hot surface, avoid contact. And if I feel with my hand, I mean, I can feel the heat coming off this thing. Not massively. So like if I'm that high, I can kind of feel it. Obviously, the closer I get, it gets much warmer. But as with anything that you're using that's got heat, you need to be careful with it, and certainly supervise any kids or anybody who might not be paying as much attention. Right, when it's ready, the platform will bleep and the green light will turn on. You see that flashing? Just reading my instructions so that I know what to do. There are quite a few different hot foil dies that are out, that Stampin' Up have brought out. I do have a friend who, oh, right, there we go, we're green. I'll keep finishing what I was going to say. I have a friend who has a previous company's system, and she's confirmed that the Stampin' Up dies will work with other companies' systems. So if you've got an older die cut machine, hot foil machine, then by all means crack on and use that. As with anything, technology moves on and the upgrades come out. So this one is from those who know about it. So as I say, my friend's got a couple of the other machines. This one seems to be lighter, faster. It's just an upgrade. If you've got one that you're happy with, then stick with that. Okay, so my die was on. I've put my foil down and I've put it gold side next to the words. Then I'm putting my cardstock on top. Next, I want to have my hot foil shim. So the green plate goes on next, and then the hot foil spacer goes on next. And now we unplug it and we bring the whole thing over to the cut and emboss machine, and we put it through and we run it relatively slowly, okay? So you're not going to push it through at 1,000,000 miles an hour. You're going to do it relatively slowly. Don't know if you need to do it quite this slowly, but I'm still learning on this as well, okay? I've only had this for a short time, and I'm sure the more I use it and the more confident I get with it, the more I will be happier with it. Okay, you only put it through in one direction. So you know often you can do it one direction then back in the other direction. You don't want to do that with this because it might move things. So we lift that up and put it back over. Right, let's take off these bits. So we'll take off our hot foil spacer and our hot foil shim, and then we're going to lift off. You can see there the foil, and then all you do is bring this up and it just peels off. Look at that. And it is so shiny. It is foiled like professional cards that you would see in shops, and it is really pretty. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this magnetic tool. When you put it over the die, it clings to it, very snazzy. And then it goes onto the silicone pad and you press the button to let it go. And I'm going to leave that to cool off. I'm not going to plug this back in again. I could plug that back in and keep going, but I'm only going to do this one particular project tonight. So back to my cut and emboss machine, because I want to cut out all of these sentiments. So I'm going to put this on here and I'm going to take my die. Now, you may have noticed on my sentiments, if I bring it up close, I've got my 11 sentiments, but I've got these 2 squares that have also foiled and cut. And that is so, for this die, you will see there are 2 squares. So if I line these 2 squares up with the squares that are on the foiled piece that I've just done, right, it's quite hard to do this and have this camera in the same, the camera is round my neck and it's kind of in the way. So there we go. I think that's about right. You can stick it down with washi tape if you want. I am not. I'm going to push it through. Now this is just a die cut, so you can push that through at any speed you choose. Go backwards and forwards if you choose. Do whatever you would normally do. I'm only going to run it through the once because it's only a single layer. And let's lift this up. You'll see already these are just, so they've popped straight out, and I now have my 11 pre-cut sentiments that have just easily popped out. So let's take these over back to the desk. Right, I'll add them, and I'm going to flick back to my desk view, which hopefully has worked. Right, okay, let's take this thing off. Any comments on the point of view camera? Did you like it? Was it confusing? Was it too shaky? Let me know. I do like feedback, because if I can do this better next time, I absolutely will. But let me just put all of these, let me put them on a darker piece of card to show you all of these really cool sentiments. So they are nice little sentiments. I like a little sentiment. There were ones in the past that were itty bitty sentiments, and they were some of my favourites. I think these are really versatile. There's lots of different things you can do with them. Let's put this light on. See everything really pop out and shine. There we go. So there are some really, really pretty sentiments. They're small enough to put on the front of cards. We do have obviously larger sentiments as well, but these are the ones that I am going to be using today. Oh, the other thing, just while I've got it here, this is the die, the alphabet dies that I have hot foiled. So this is again one of the new products. I did that on Gorgeous Grape cardstock, so you might be able to see kind of like the purpley line through it, and I used the silver foil for that one. And then I stuck them all on a piece of card so that they would stay together. Okay, back to the project in hand. Okay, so I have got my piece of basic white. Where's my trimmer? Oh, just checking you can still hear me all right. I haven't knocked my microphone off. So I have a piece of basic white card, which is cut 10 centimeters. And then I want to cut this to 28 centimeters. So I'm going to cut that at 28. There we go. And then I'm going to score it at 7 centimeters and at 21 centimeters. Or if you prefer, you can score it just at 7 centimeters on each side. Okay, so you've got 7, 7, and then the bit in the middle is 14. Okay. Next thing I want to do is I'm going to take a piece of gorgeous grape cardstock, and I'm going to cut that to 10.5 centimeters by 14.5 centimeters. Okay, so it is just slightly smaller than a C6 card, but it fits inside the envelope just nicely. Next thing I want is to get my designer series paper, and the pack that I'm using for this one is called the Violets DSP. I think is it called Framed Violets? Let's see if I can find the back sheet of this. It's called Violet Dreams, and it's a specialty designer series paper because there's some other bits and pieces in here as well. I've previously done an unboxing video on this one, so if you want to see the full pack, I'd recommend you go back and have a look at that. But I'm going to cut a square of DSP that is 5 inches by 5 inches. Okay, so let's do that 5 by 5. All right. Next, what do I need next? Okay, let's start doing a little assembly. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my piece of DSP and I'm going to fold it diagonally. Where's my board folder? There we go. You can do this with your trimmer if you want, but it's fine to do it by eye as well. Okay, so I have a diagonal fold on my designer series paper. Next, I'm going to fold my piece of basic white card, and I'm going to fold one of the pieces in and just burnish that line. This one, the way that you get it so that it kind of matches in the middle is I'm going to fold it over, but before I score down here, I'm just going to press that up against the bit that I've already done, and then I'm going to score it down. And then that way I know it's going to match in the middle, it's not going to overlap in any way. So there we go, I've got my gatefold here. Before I go any further, I'm going to do a bit of stamping, and I'm using the Framed Violet stamp set, and there's this piece here which is like a texture type piece. So let's pull this out. Put that on my block. And I'm using my Peaceful Pine ink because that's the green that is in the designer series paper. I'll throw it all over the place. And what I'm doing is I'm going to ink up my stamp, and I'm going to stamp and then stamp off. And then this way I get the dark shade as well as the light shade. I'm going to do this over both of the flaps that I've got of my basic white. Okay, it doesn't matter if it overlaps into that middle part because that's going to get glued down anyway. So stamp and stamp again, stamp and stamp again. Stamping off is a great way to get even more shades out of the one ink pad. There is no reason why you have to go out and buy all the ink pads. I mean, other than if you wanted to, but you can get 2, even 3 different shades from the one ink pad. So make sure that you're doing what's right for you. Okay, I have somewhere, there we go, my stamp cleaner. There we go. Just clean off that stamp. And I'll pop it back in the packet. Okay, so now I've got my gatefold piece that's got this kind of peaceful pine texture on it. The next thing I'm going to do is take my designer series paper triangle, and I'm going to put my gatefold inside my triangle. I'm going to push it right up to the fold, and see this point that I've got here? I'm going to line it up with the center where my two gatefolds meet. Okay, so I want that point to be meeting where these gatefolds meet, like that. Okay, once I have that in position, I'm going to turn it upside down. I'm going to get my trusty Tombow, and I'm going to put glue on this triangular piece here. And I'm going to make sure that I stick this down, just double checking that it hasn't moved on the front. Tombow is very forgiving, so if it has moved, I just move it back. And then I'm going to stick that down like so. Okay, so now I have this front piece and the back piece. And what I want to do at this point is just take my scissors and I'm going to cut off these corners. Like so. There we go. Looks a little bit like an envelope, I think. So you've got this piece that goes inside. All right. Next, we're going to put ink all over the back of this piece. And we're going to stick it down into the center of the Gorgeous Grape piece that I prepared at the start. So this piece of card is 10.5 centimeters by 14.5 centimeters. Okay, and so that gives me a nice firm card base. It hides that triangular bit at the back, and then I've got this bit that opens up here at the front. So now all that's left to do is just my decoration. So I'm going to again use my stamps from the stamp set. I've got this one here, which is a violet with a leaf. I'm going to again use my Peaceful Pine. Just clean this off as I go. If I don't clean my stamps as I go, I will inevitably accidentally drop it and it will land on my dress or on the project that I've just finished making or something like that. So I'm going to cut this out, but before I cut it out, I want to colour it in. So I'm going to use, I've got my Highland Heather blends here, rather than Gorgeous Grape, because I think as much as I love the Gorgeous Grape, I think it can be a little too dark. So I am just very quickly, you see I am not taking a massive amount of time on this. I'm using the thick end of the blends, and this is the pale Highland Heather. I'm just going around all the petals, and then I'm going to use the darker one to just go around the edge of the petals and then just kind of trace over those stamp lines. Now, I am not by any way, shape or means an expert when it comes to colouring or blends, but I did see somebody give me this tip that if you just go over the bits that have already been stamped, you can add a little bit of texture and shaping. So that is what I am doing. There are some amazing videos on YouTube that I would encourage you to seek out if you're interested in learning about proper blending and shading. Actually, I don't think that looks too bad. What do you think? for a quick job, for a rush job. For the leaf, I'm going to use my shimmer brush, and this is my Peaceful Pines shimmer brush. So it's the same colour as the stamp that I used. It's got quite a large brush tip, so I'm just being careful with that. And I'm going over this, just going to go over the stem as well. There we go. Now, I don't know if you'll be able to see the shimmer on camera. Let me bring it up, see if that's showing at all. It's a very subtle shimmer. It's not in your face, but it is very pretty. Okay, let's get the matching die and let's get this little flower cut out. There we go. So let me just get back my cut and emboss machine. Going to say, while I'm setting this up, just going to say a quick hi to anybody who's watching. Hi if you're watching it live. Hi if you're watching it on catch up. Hi to everyone on Facebook and hi to everyone on YouTube. Please do feel free to put comments on the video. I will read them and look at them and I will reply to them. You know, I always do. Even if it's not technically a live video, I do go online at this time when I'm traveling to be able at least to say hi and to check in with my crafty pals. So, right, there's my little violet, which has been quite quick and easy to do. I'm going to take some foam pads. Now, this violet I'm going to stick down to the corner of my card. I want it slightly overlapping my diagonal so that I can still open that up and pop it back under. I don't want to do too much or else the flat won't open, but I also don't want to have it too little or else it won't really shut. So it's a judgment call, and it might be something that takes practice. But once I know which bit's overlapping, I'm going to make sure that my foam pads are on the other piece because I don't want those foam pads overlapping onto my diagonal piece. I just want it sticking onto the front of the card. Right, so let's now put that on there and my diagonal lifts up, the whole thing opens up and then tucks back in again afterwards. There we go. Final touches for this project. I'm going to use one of these new gold foil pieces that I've just done. I think I'm going to do a thank you card. I have a thank you card to send this week to somebody. I had a lot of travel drama last week and there was someone who was very helpful and very kind, so I'm going to give them a thank you card. And let's just pop that at the bottom underneath my sentiment. And then the final touch, you know what I'm like for a bit of bling. These are the two-tone sparkle gems, which I think go really, really well with this project. Just going to pop that in the center of my violet. And that's my card finished. There we go. So I've got my little foil sentiment on the front. I've got my DSP flap that opens up. Got a nice space in the center. I've managed to get ink on. Well done, Emma. Inky fingers. And then that folds in and tucks under. And that's my card. Okay, so I hope you have enjoyed tonight's video. Oh, let's stick that light out because that's quite bright. If anybody's got any questions about the hot foil system or the stuff that I've used here tonight, then please do drop me a message, drop me a comment. I'm more than happy to answer any questions you've got. There are a couple of different offers that are going on this month. All the information is on the Stampin' Up website. But as always, if you need me, you know where I am. And I hope you have some fun crafting. Okay, take care, everyone. Bye.